Coming up, I roll around the floor.
That's beautifully executed.
Pixels get fixed. And the car gets hammered. Welcome back to part 6 of Project Dubai. This is supposed to be the final episode, but it's not because there's still plenty to cover. We are going to tie up some loose ends and then enter the final stage, which is to make it pretty again. We are starting by addressing an issue from the previous part that few of you noticed, and that is that the car felt slow when accelerating. This being a Japan spec car, it has a shorter final drive, so it's inevitably slower at higher speeds, but still something was missing at the very top end.
180.
Upon scanning the car for codes, I found knock sensor codes, which would explain this behavior. When they are faulty, they basically rob the power from the car at the top end and make it slow. Looking closer at their connectors, the wiring is crumbling and wires shorting, so there's our culprit. I am a big believer in preventative maintenance, and this right here is something that I should have prevented, as the only way to access and replace them is to remove intake manifolds. In part 4 I had them off and I was considering replacing these sensors, but they were working fine, and at 250 euros they're rather expensive, so I left them alone. There isn't enough room to attempt to repair wiring, so everything had to come off again, and at that point I'm not taking any chances and I'm just replacing them. So here's the wiring for the knock sensors. Completely gone. And it was shortening here. New sensors that are only available directly from BMW. "17 years later, everything is reassembled. Then I went for a long test drive and scanned the car for codes after. No errors. No more knock sensor codes. Let's check the other computer, the other bank. No errors found. That's what we want to see. I can't explain to you how much better this car runs now. It's crazy. All because of stupid knock sensors. Needless to say, I'll be always replacing these on every M73 engine when I remove intake manifolds. And here's how happy it accelerates now.
There we go, 200. 210 is the max speed, remember? It drives so nice and smooth, it's incredible. Let's see some valves flying through that hood. Stop moving. By the way, there's a very strong wind outside. There we go, max speed. Easy as that. Before he was struggling to get to 210. By the way, I'm not going to remove the speed limiter. There's no need. Because if I remove the speed limiter, this car has shorter gear ratio. I'm gonna have to do something about differential, and I don't want to do that, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. Back to the base.
I also decided to treat it with new ignition wires and ignition coils to round up the preventative maintenance. Why didn't I do this when I had everything off? This is ready to go in the car. Nice. All of them are in. There's the coil. Bremmy as well. Man, it feels nice to put new parts in. In goes the new one. Cool, that's it. Looking good, sharp as a toenail. Now we're going to replace the front brakes. Lately they started making noise and a very slight vibration on their braking, and upon measuring the thickness of the disc, it's borderline minimum. 30.4 millimeters is the minimum, and that's pretty much what I measured all around, so it needs new brakes. First thing you need to do is make sure your hair is good. Then you can proceed and remove the wheel. Did I mention that I love this thing? Yup. Remove the clip and hopefully not die in the process. Remove the caps. And there we are. That's gingerly removed. Let's remove the caliper bracket. So let's do this. That's probably not the proper technique, but you know, it works. Another disc. That was easy. And off you come. I know a lot of people like to use this copper paste so it doesn't stick on it, but BMW repair manual and all of the professional mechanics that I talk to say they cannot use anything here, otherwise it's risking the brake disc not sitting properly. So I just don't use it. Okay, that's ready for the new disc. The new parts: Zimmermann rotors, OEM Techstar brake pads. This is their Q Plus line. They have this soft shim on the back, which is supposedly made for comfort, and we're all about the comfort with this car, so that's why I went with them. I also have new guide pins, bushings, spring clip. I already did that on the other side because I had a problem with this. It was making noise. And these puppies are big and heavy, 334 millimeters wide. But then again, this car is big and heavy, so it needs big brakes. I just feel sorry for the delivery guy because I threw my back out just looking at this. So the torque for this bolt is 16 Newton meters. I know the bracket, which I'm going to clean a bit first. So those are torqued to 110 Newton meters. 110. So now I need to compress the piston. Remove the cap. I'm going to have to withdraw the fluid. Oh, there's one. It's one in. That's two in. That's one brake pad in. So I'm also using Plasti-Lube to put on all of the moving surfaces where the brake pad is going to go. Beautiful. Oh yeah. Now the new guide pins. So these are the Ninja Star variety. So these are 30. The caps. And lastly, the new spring clip. And that's done. Now on the other side. And there I just have to copy paste. So one of the most common failures on E38 and E39 platform are the dead pixels in the cluster. This one on the first look looks fine, but see all of those dots? All of that should be nice and clean. That just looks ugly. Obviously this one was expertly fixed at one point, which means we need to fix it again. as with everything on this car. Let's remove this cluster and begin with the repair. So to remove the cluster from the car, it's nothing special, just these two screws here. Pull it out, and this three connectors on the back. That's it. So now I'm gonna take apart the front cover and the back cover. And here I have the kit from Pixel Fix with instructions and everything. And inside this box is a brand new display with a silver ribbon cable. So I've used this kit maybe 3 or 4 times now, and every time it worked like charms, so I highly recommend this. It's really inexpensive. If you want to buy just a ribbon cable, I think it's 10-15 euros. And if you want to make your life a bit easier and get it with the display, I think it's 30. So I just bought the whole thing because I'm not sure what's bad inside. So let's go ahead and take this apart. To get this off, you just need to twist these plastic bits. So the trick that I've used here is these tabs here. You put zip ties there. Like that. That was a bit forceful, but there's the trace of someone being here. So there's 2 ways you can do this repair. You can remove the needles, or you can drill the holes here to access the screws in order to remove this back cover and access the display. I personally always go for the drill method because I'm always afraid to remove the needles. You need a special tool to remove the needles, and Pixel Fix sells it, but I'm always afraid to remove them because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to put them back in the right spot. And all of these needles, they are preset from the factory, or however you want to call it. So what happens if I put this needle a couple of millimeters to the left or the right, then it's not going to show a correct reading. Same with the fuel gauge and the rest of the gauges. So that's why I always like to go with the safer method of drilling and removing these screws. So this is actually a bit easier for me because someone has already done this and I don't have to drill it again. Right, so now we need to remove all of these screws. How did I get oil on my hand? And now it's free. So there are these tabs on these connectors on the back that you need to push in. Well, to press in, and then you push in the cluster out. T7. So now slowly lift up. And here's how they fixed it. So let's remove that. There you go. So now we need to remove the LCD. So the good thing is when you buy this complete, this ribbon cable is already glued to the display. So you don't have to fight to get it back on because you have to put this stuff beneath to make sure the pressure is perfect. So when you buy it like this, it's already on, and the tricky bit is only aligning this side here and glue it with tape. So I highly recommend getting complete LCD display. It makes life easier. Cool. So this is the old ribbon cable and the display that we are not going to use. Here's a nice new display. Now let's clean the back of this thing. For that, you can use acetone. Q-tips. Start cleaning. So this contact surface needs to be perfectly clean. So bunch of Q-tips, acetone, and scrub. And it's clean. So what I need to do now is put a piece of tape over the top of this so that it can go like this, basically, and then you glue it to the board. Just make sure the contacts are absolutely perfect. One off and you'll have dead pixels. This is what you want to do. Put a piece of tape over the top of the ribbons. So now when I take this off, I can directly put it onto the board and match all of these contact points. So it's a bit tricky, but doable. That's spot on. The tape is used only to hold the cable in place and make sure the contacts are 100% aligned. Once the panel goes back, it puts pressure on the cable and permanently keeps the connection. So we need to remove the protection from the LCD. So now that can fold in. There it is. So I think now we can test if it's working. Okay, not working. I've never been able to do this from the first. So that didn't work. I ended up with few dead pixels. Not a lot, but I think 2 or 3 rows, so not good. And fun fact, I've done about 4 of these successfully, but never from the first time. Always a couple of dead pixels and I had to go back and fix something. I tried few more times to realign it better and put more pressure on the cable, but I think I somehow damaged it. Alright, so it's a few days later, I have new parts and I'm going to try this again. As I said before, I've done this 4 times successfully, just not from the first time. So it's probably gonna be the same here. I also have new bulbs. One of them died and I have 3 just in case. So let's take this apart again. So that one is a no-go. But first I'm going to put more crap under these spacers here because I think that's what my problem might have been in the first place. So I have a really thick perfume card here, so that's what I'm going to chop up. Okay. Now there are more spacers under these 3 silicone spacers, so it should push on the ribbon cable more firmly. Now the moment of truth, if this thing is actually working. Back into the vehicle. Finally! So I did mess up the other cable unfortunately, but it is working now. It's perfect. Not a single dead pixel. 100% perfect. So I'm not sure if there was something wrong with this cable or I made a mistake somewhere. But with the new cable, it worked from the first. So there you go. Now I can put this back. So let's clean the display of my fingerprints. And now this goes back. So now we can twist back these tabs here, make sure it doesn't come out. And now we can permanently put it back in the car and this is never going to go bad ever again. From the factory, this cable is glued together and over time it degrades and that's why you lose pixels. And with this cable, there's no soldering, there's no glue, you just attach it firmly, press in the contacts and it's never gonna go bad ever again. So that's good. And the speedo is back in the car and you can see that the LCD display is perfect. Crystal clear and no dead pixels, which is exactly what we want. And that is a job done. With those loose ends completed and the car mechanically and technically 100% sorted, I can focus on making it pretty again. The first phase is to remove the hateful dents and this car has a lot of them. All of these blue markers are the common parking lot dings that I found and pretty much every panel has a few. They are going to be removed by a professional using the paintless dent removal method, or in short PDR. I found a guy that does excellent work and offers a mobile service, so he started tackling them one by one. There are a few techniques that he is using. The main one is to access the panel from the back and massage the metal back into place with special rods. If the panel cannot be accessed from the back, he is using special glue and puller to pull the dents out. I helped by removing whatever I could, like door panels, taillights, so he has easier and better access. Long and tedious process, but so much better than repainting, especially here where the paint is original and will stay preserved. So the dent guy just left and he did a really amazing job on the car. He removed all of the dents that I marked, and then he found a couple more in the trunk. And if you remember, there was a really big dent here. Now it's completely gone. The whole side of the car, it's straight as an arrow now. There are no dents anywhere. The hood was fine, the hood didn't have any dents. There were a few dents here that he also removed. The really big one was this, but he did the best he could here because the metal is damaged. The only way to fix this is to paint the whole, well, door probably. But since this is original paint, I want to keep its originality, so I just told him to do it as best as he can, and then I'll just touch it up with some paint. So it looks a lot better than before, but not perfect. You'll definitely be able to see it. But like I said, for me, this is better than to have it painted and then it's completely different color than the rest of the car. For me, that's worse. And that's probably the biggest flaw in the whole car. The rest of the car is just small rock chips like this that I'm going to touch up. This side as well, absolutely perfect. All of the dents removed, straight as an arrow. There was one dent on the roof, somewhere around here. That's also gone. And then he found two dents here that he also removed. Really good job. I love PDR. It's much better than doing paint work. The car looks so much better now. Before you would just look at it down the side and you just see ugliness, dents all over the place, and now nice and straight original paint. Once I polish it, it's really gonna pop. This set me back 480 euros, which is pretty reasonable given the amount of work in compared to painting. The next step is to touch up the spots where the paint is chipped. I'm using touch-up pens, paint, clear coat, and fiberglass pen for cleaning and removing surface rust from the spots. The main purpose of this is to protect the metal underneath from rusting and maybe make it look 10% better. First, the rust is removed with the scratch pen. Then touched up with paint. Once dried, the clear coat is applied. This will never look perfect, but again, the whole point is to protect the metal underneath. I repeated the same process all around the car where the paint was chipped. Before I start with paint correction and polishing, I'm removing the rear and front bumpers and side skirts as they need to be repainted. The rear bumper has a small crack and minor imperfections. Side skirts have scratches and the front bumper is cracked and needs to be replaced. Does this come off? There's one chrome piece and nothing broke. Interesting. There you go. Parking sensors. Steady. Why didn't I wear gloves? Oh yeah, lucky. Now I need to remove this plastic thing. Spare tire is brand new and immaculate. Never used. Original Michelin tire on it. To be lifted. Three bolts there, 3 bolts there, and then the bumper should slide out. Whoa. stuff is breaking. It doesn't sound good. Out you come. And I only cut my hands on 11 different places. On the back side of the bumper is where craftsmanship took place. Someone at some point repaired it with metal plates. I know nothing about bodywork, but my body shop had a good laugh seeing this. Unfortunately, when they tried to remove them and repair this properly, the bumper split in half. That meant I had to source and pick up a replacement bumper, which caused a lot of delays. But scheisse happens. This one needs to be entirely replaced for a couple of reasons. Crack there, massive cracks here, and missing a huge chunk here. So this bumper is not repairable. Let's take it off. Let's leave that there so I can step on it, and I need a tetanus shot later. So, Ninja Star T50, why are you in my way? Do I need to remove this stupid grill? Oh, excellent. That one is missing entirely. God, I hate people who own this car. Now what? I just pull? Let's try that. Oh yeah. Oh, it's fine. Yep. I need to throw it away anyways. Another one. And another one. Oh yeah. This one was expertly repaired as well. Yeah, let's scratch the fender. That's what I want to do. Look at that. Gotta take these out as well. Come on. I'm moving the car. You should let go. Why is the car moving? I'm not that strong. See the rear, maybe easier. This one is coming out. Oh, I'm so strong. How can I move the whole car with a plastic trim? That's one out. Why is this so difficult to remove? I think we'll come back to that later. Gotta set up my creeper here. Yep. The left side skirt I removed a while back and left it at the body shop so they can test how well the new paint matches with the rest of the car. Missing. Bastard. I was eating a dessert earlier with a strawberry, and just now I realized I dropped one and I stepped into it. So that's good. Stupid plastic rivets. Let's roll. Ah, that was beautifully executed. These clips are broken anyway. Well, the majority of them are. Ow, that hurts. Pop! And there we are. Side skirt removed. Remove the creeper. We have movage. Surely now. Up. Nope. That was unnecessarily difficult. Starting to see stars. This is the replacement front bumper that I sourced. Used but original BMW part, never repainted and without any damage. Side skirts are scratched up, so they are also getting new paint. And the small trim pieces on the bottom of the doors as they are pitted. I hate bodywork and especially paint matching. Impressively, this entire car is still wearing its factory paint, apart from previously removed plastic bits, so getting the color to match was my biggest concern here. We'll pick that up in the next episode along with paint correction and basically ending up with a different car. And banana on the top, take the lap around the most famous track in the world. Hello people! Feast on the magnificence. Consider subscribing if you liked the video, and I'll see you next time.